Cancers! December energies are here, and I keep hearing the song, How Sweet It Is to Be Loved by You. Let's have an aligned astro chat about it. Hello all, I'm Stacy the Black Feather Intuitive, and welcome to your Transformational Tarot for December. Can you believe that we've actually made it through this batshit crazy year of 2025? Wow. And yeah, I keep hearing the song, How Sweet It Is to Be Loved by You, when I tap into your energies for December. So I'm really excited to dive on into this. We are going to be pulling an overarching theme for you from the Sweet Ass Affirmations by Rage Create. And then the deck that called to me for you guys today is Pocket of Peers by Jamie Sawyer. So without further ado, let's get to it. All right. So, I feel like this is going to be a month where you're giving away your love. You're feeling the love in return. I feel like everything is really going to be about love and focused on love. Now, I don't want to give you the impression that everything is going to be sunshine and daisies, wine and roses, because that's just not life. But I do really feel that December, it's kind of like, when you get in that, you have those days where it doesn't matter what happens, whether it rains or shines, you're just in a good mood. You got good energy, good things are happening to you. And, somebody who's crusty and curmudgeon-y always, you just smile and laugh and you give them a flower and you walk on about your day. You're just spreading a lot of love and joy. And I feel like when I hear that song, How Sweet It Is to Be Loved by You, it's what others are saying to you about the way that you are and the way you're behaving in December. So I love that for you. Let's see what this is. I am willing to let my life explode with greatness. Oh my God, I love it. So this is just validation for what I was seeing and feeling. It's like, this is how you're feeling. I am open to allowing life to be the greatest thing ever. No matter what is happening, what is transpiring, I'm showing up and I'm focusing on all the good things, all the good stuff. I'm just going to spread my love, spread my joy, spread my goodwill. And even if people don't want it, it doesn't faze me. I'm going to just be me and do my own thing. I like this for you as an overarching theme for this month in particular, because I feel like in December, you are going to be dealing with some people in your life that I want to say are having a really challenging time. And this is your time to shine. This is your time to really show up and say, I got you. It can be small and subtle ways, and it can also be, larger, more intentional ways. But all of it, I feel, it's like, this is your time to shine. This is your time to really show up and let people know how you really feel about, I don't mean like how you feel about them, because sometimes we don't need to share what's going on in our heads right in that moment. But I'm talking about like the fundamental, right? Yeah, we all drive each other nuts. I think sometimes that's just part of being on the planet, being part of this human collective. But ultimately, you don't wish any ill will on anyone. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, you love everyone at some level. And I feel like that is what you're kind of being called to share. So this is you presently right now in your transformational journey. Where are you at in that? What part of you is shifting, rising, or dissolving? Yeah, you're the guide. You are recognizing that I understand the game of life right now. I might not have understood it 2 weeks ago. I might not understand it 3 months from now, but right now I feel like I got a handle on this. I feel like I'm understanding what's going on. And no, I don't necessarily have to teach it in a formal way to others, but I absolutely can walk my talk. And I feel like that's really what's coming up for you in December, is this recognition that for whatever reason, I feel like I've got my ducks in a row and I'm going to ride that organization wave. I'm going to ride that love wave. And by walking my talk, others are witnessing who I am. They're witnessing what I'm doing. And by proxy, they're receiving that frequency. They're receiving that love energy. Like I said, it's your time to shine. Now, here we have someone FaceTiming, right? It's a FaceTime situation. We're having a conversation, or this could be like a, an Insta post or whatever. I feel like, yes, there's teaching that's involved here, but really I feel like it's more about you sharing your energy, sharing your goodwill, sharing your the present energy of, I feel like I understand what's going on. And if I feel like I understand what's going on right now, I'm absolutely going to share it with others in whatever way I can, because others deserve to know this as well. I don't know that you're necessarily, I feel like for some of you, there is going to be a component of actually like teaching this or sharing it with someone, like maybe sharing your thoughts, your wisdom with, a younger person, a niece, a nephew, a daughter or son, that kind of thing. There may be some like physical, visceral component of, I'm teaching you this, and it's a game changer, a life changer. But ultimately, I don't feel that this is about you in a physical teaching moment. It's about you walking your talk. Your catalyst here, what's fueling or hindering this transformation? And is it resistance or is it rocket fuel? Interesting. Definitely rocket fuel. So again, I feel like you're just having, it's like one of those good days. It's like you're having a good month. And I feel like part of this has been inspired by you crossing the threshold on a skill set, you getting to a particular level of something that you've been working hard to understand or to learn or to achieve, to arrive at. And it's got you feeling proud of yourself. It's got you feeling into your levels of confidence, and knowing that there is a chapter that is closing as a result, and that you've been able to kind of better yourself or better your circumstances, or get yourself that promotion, or move to that next, that new city, or shift that study, shift that learning, shift that course from one course to another, whatever the case may be. I feel here with the Ace of Wands, this is always about inspired action. This is, you're being inspired by your own inspired action. This is you taking the inspired action, and now you're, even though it's the Ace, I feel like this has already occurred. This has already happened. And now you're kind of like at the 10, the 10 of Wands, not burdens, but the rewards piece. Like you've arrived. And what does that mean for you? So I feel like this is definitely rocket fuel, because you're able to close a door, close a chapter on something that you've really put a lot of hard work and effort into. And now you're able to reap those rewards. But it's all because you're recognizing, I took a chance on myself. I took a chance, this potential thing that could have gone a million different ways. But I said yes to myself, and I moved forward with that. I feel like there's just self-acknowledgement. And as a result of that, I feel that there's going to be acknowledgement from others as well, because they're seeing and feeling and noticing it. There's pride, there may even be like an actual physical graduation of sorts here for you, or the receiving of some kind of certification. But whatever it is, this is about you acknowledging and recognizing yourself for how far you've come, for what you've learned. And it just spurs you on to the next level with a lot of confidence. That's what I just keep hearing, is it's the name of the game is confidence. Deep root, what deep belief, wound, or soul contract is driving this transformation under the surface? Oh, I love this little fuzzy doggy. So we've got the Four of Cups. So yes, he's looking a bit despondent. It almost looks like he's got his eyes closed and he's just trying to take a nap, like he's just trying to tune out the world. But as a result of that, he's missing, the big singing bowl here. He's missing the big opportunity that spirit is bringing his way. I feel like there's a component here where you feel always like, why can't I ever just take a break? Why can't I ever just get a break? You're not thinking this in the conscious. In the conscious, you're like, yay, like I did this, I got this. The ego voice, the subconscious layers always are a bit insidious until we actually heal the official wound. And so I feel like this is what's kind of plaguing you under the surface of it, is this nothing ever really works out for me. I always have to work a little harder. I know I'm sounding a bit victim-y. I don't actually mean necessarily to sound victim-y, although there can be some victim component to this card. But I feel like this is the wound that is coming to the surface to be healed. So you're going to have this amazing moment. You're going to be walking through, woohoo, everything's awesome. And then the ego voice every once in a while is going to say, hello, don't you know who you are? Hello, don't forget. Like, yeah, you're having your minute in the sun, but don't forget there's all this other stuff here. You weren't good at this and you weren't good at that. I feel like this is really representing the ego voice that is trying to impede on all of this newfound self-confidence and achievement. And it's going to be important for you to open your eyes and look around. Look for the dog bringing you the new singing bowl. Be expectant of the miracles, right? Look for miracles every day. Expect miracles every day. Don't walk around with your eyes closed. This is not a time to shut the world out and to go within. This is a time for you to shine, right? I am willing to let my life explode with greatness. And in order to do that, I got to be looking for it. And I got to be like, well, this is inevitable. It's inevitable that it's going to happen. There's no question in my mind that it's going to happen, that I'm going to have these opportunities. So thank you, universe, bring me more. And I got my eyes wide open for the next opportunity, the next situation that's presenting itself to me. I feel like this is an invitation to make sure you're looking, eyes wide open, and looking for what is coming up and coming through, because you've worked through a lot of this stuff already. But the ego voice is insidious because it's always trying to protect you. You have to read the ego in. Hey, look what we got. Look what we did. That's old news. That's old patterning, old behavior stuff. We don't need to do that anymore. Look at what we've achieved. Read the ego in. This is what is dying away for you right now. What role, pattern, or identity has run its course? I just kind of touched a bit upon that here, but I love that it's a 10. So it's not the 10 of Wands. I was talking about the 10 of Wands a little bit, but it's a 10. 10 of Pentacles. So legacy, having all of your needs met, arriving at a particular place where you feel good. I love that they are giving reference to the moon here. The moon card. We have the wolf and the moon, baying at the moon. This feels really significant to me because the moon card is your card. It's a Cancer card. The 10 of Pentacles. This is what you've worked hard to achieve. So allow yourself to be in this space and to arrive at it. I also feel like what you're breaking out of is, it feels like ancestral patterning or genealogy patterning. Like, what am I trying to say? Lineage. Mother's line. Every woman on my mother's side has gone through this or this or this or this. And so it's expected that I'm going to do this, but that's not what I want to do. So you're breaking things up. You're doing things differently, and you're choosing a different legacy for yourself. Breaking out of those lineage expectations, those lineage patterns. I also feel here like when I'm seeing this little new puppy, there is some new birth, new growth, a potential for something new that needs to be nurtured within you. Obviously, we know that you've arrived at some place, which means that you are going to be starting something new. 10s are new beginnings based on an already established foundation. So that in itself is not surprising, but I feel like it is a nod to, this wolf who's not a baby. The Cancer, you're not a baby, but you're going to nurture something new within yourself. So really symbolic of the past is the past. I'm rewriting my story, or I'm writing a new story, and it's not going to be based on this. It's going to be based on the legacy that I'm choosing to leave behind, what I feel connected to at this time, where I feel that I could be most of service. All right, here is your highest Phoenix potential. What can rise from the ashes? What is your soul calling you toward? This is your breakthrough energy. Oh, I love it. You got 9 of Pentacles. So, gratitude, complete success, perseverance, that your hard work has paid off. She's a cook, she's a chef. And we're seeing her here in her kitchen, in her element. Everything is in order. Again, I'm drawn to the moon signs as the handles on all of the drawers. So I feel that this is like just a total nod to you as a Cancer. And I feel like there's a lot of order. There's a lot of tidiness here. You've got all of your ducks in a row. Didn't I say that a little bit earlier? And it's kind of like when we're talking about this here, it's giving yourself permission to now move forward with ease, move forward, not waiting for the other shoe to drop, moving forward, understanding and knowing that you've got all of your needs met. You have every single resource you could possibly need. And if there is something that runs out, you've also got the resource of the coins to go and replace it. I feel also like this month, when we're talking about highest Phoenix potential, you're also going to be looking at ways to make certain things in your life grow. So we felt a little bit of this with the new puppy, right? Versus the old, and now we have the new. But I also feel here with the growth and the vines that are coming through, you're needing to make a choice on what you're going to nurture. What in your life have you already kind of started up, but you haven't had enough time to really put the focus to expand it? This is a month where everything is going to, anything you put your focus to, everything is going to expand. And I want to say you don't necessarily have to choose one thing to put your focus to. You can have 2 or 3 things, but I feel like they need to be things that you've really always wanted to see grow and thrive, and things that are really going to allow you to expand into the next level of your skill set. There's been a graduation already. There's been an achievement. Maybe you've gotten to level 2 or level 3. Well, now the invitation is to get to level 4. And you're motivated to do it. There's no question. You're motivated to do it. It's reminding yourself, okay, this is new, so I can take a new approach. I don't have to rely on the past. I don't have to do things the way everybody else expects me to do them. This is time for me to nurture things and nurture them in a way that I feel is going to, maybe it's a little bit experimental, but also you're feeling intuitively like this is the right path. This is the way forward. Again, you are showing people, you're walking your talk through your actions, how you are connected to source and how source is working through you. What's emerging just around the corner? What energy or experience is coming in to support the next step? 7 of Wands. Interesting. So there are a couple of things going on here. First of all, I'm feeling again kind of interesting, Ace of Wands, 7 of Wands. So we've got that painting theme that's going on here. But there is almost the energy of her teaching, her standing up and people coming at her, wanting a taste of her. I always call the 7 of Wands card my Brene Brown card. And don't ask me why I chose Brene Brown. She just popped into my head one day when I was, sort of meditating on the card. And this is how it came up. But we know Brene Brown is a thought leader. She is a very pronounced public speaker. She gives a lot of inspiring wisdom and information. And, hundreds of thousands of people will pay good money to go and light their torch or light their wand from her flame, right? The flames of her wisdom. Seven of Wands is very much like that. Yes, it can be a card of defense. You have to defend yourself, or defend your energy, your time and your energy around people. But it also can indicate that you're Brene Brown and others are coming to you because you have wisdom and magic that they need, that they want. They want to learn from you. So when we're talking about the next step, I do feel that there is a component here, especially with that Hierophant starting us off. There is a component here of you having to understand that when you are shining your light, other people are going to take notice. And there are people that are going to be coming out of the woodwork that are wanting to learn. And I feel like for you, it's about deciding, how much of your wisdom you want to teach in a more traditional capacity, or how much of yourself you're going to give in these one-on-one experiences, and how much you want to kind of keep it in reserve. When am I painting for others to teach, and when am I painting for myself? And when I'm painting for myself, I only want my cat with me. I don't want everybody else with me because it wrecks my flow, right? I feel almost like there are sort of two different streams of energy that you're connecting to here. And you're going to learn that, I can go into this mode or I can go into this mode, but I can't combine these two modes. It doesn't work well for me. Another analogy I can use here is, I am a great multitasker, not necessarily that that's such a great skill to have, but, here we are. And, in a single day, on an average day, I might read for 5 clients. So that's 5 hours of tuning in. I also create stuff on the back end where I'm having to, update my membership. So I'm having to do, creating, Canva posts and writing, things. Then I'm a mother to the fur babies. I'm a friend to, someone who's going through a crisis. So then I'm on the phone dealing with that. And then there's often some kind of, being a business owner, there's always some kind of financial something or other, or technical something or other that I've got to address. So like I wear a number of different hats and I shift the use of my energy in multiple different ways throughout the day. It can be exhausting. There are days when I'm like, I just want to read for people and not have to do anything else. There are days when I'm like, I don't want to read for anyone and I just want to focus on the back end stuff or the creative, parts of me. So I feel like that's kind of what I'm getting with this card is it's going to be up to you to determine what skill set is required, how much energy and what type of energy you're requiring for that. And then do you want to have to multitask, or do you want to be sort of singular in I'm doing this with this person or this group right now, and I'm just not going to do anything else. It'll have to wait until the next day. So I feel like there's some determination, like determining, scheduling, determining how and where you're using your energy. That feels really big this month. Okay, now we are checking out your role in this process. So how are you navigating this transformation? Are you resisting, flowing, grieving, or boldly rising? I feel a lot of bold rising happening here, especially with the Queen of Swords. So Queen of Swords is very thoughtful, sometimes can be a little methodical in the approach, but very thoughtful, has already thought things out. So when there is a methodical approach, it's because that methodical approach has been chosen among many different approaches and deemed the most efficient, the best one, for all involved. This also very much is a card of boundaries for me. I see the Queen of Swords as the boundaries card. So I feel like, as I was talking about the Seven of Wands, this month you're getting used to shining your light and being seen and having other people reach out to you, and you're going to figure out which people you want to invest your time and your energy into, which people you want to nurture, and which people are, not your circus, not your monkeys. And then you're going to hold firm boundaries to that. I feel like this is definitely boldly rising because you need to have this determination, determining what is actually going to be in your garden, that is going to be under your care, and what needs to be somebody else's problem. Because what you're stepping into in January, I feel is going to be quite robust. And you're gonna love it. You're gonna enjoy being in that energy, but it's also gonna take a lot of energy out of you. So really fine tuning your boundaries from an energetic level this month is going to be pretty easy. And I see you're going to have 3 or 4, very specific incidents that are going to show you, oh yeah, I've had to establish my boundaries now with that person and that organization and this thing over here. Oh, okay. That's what I'm doing is I'm clearing my schedule or clearing my plate or creating space only for what I have determined is going to keep me, in this walk in my talk space and feeling good and exploding life with greatness and all the rest of it. You are recognizing the buck stops here. I've had all I can stands and I can't stands no more. This is my limit. This is my boundary. So I feel like this is boundaries and guardrails and sort of an adjustment of all of that. And now we are at your circles of support. Who or what is influencing your transformation right now? And is it being influenced positively or negatively? All right, we're going to take that as the card. So here we have the Knight of Pentacles. So I want to say there's a lot of steady, there's a lot of loyalty. There's a lot of foundation for you in the people that are around you. It's kind of like they're noticing the shift, the change. They're seeing the light, and a lot of people around you are going to want to protect that light. So as we were talking about Queen of Swords and the boundaries, I feel like you've also got people around you who are going to hear you, and they're going to honor it, or they're going to protect you to make sure that other people honor this. I feel very much this people rallying around you. And part of it is they're drawn to your energy because you're, exuding this love, right? How sweet it is to be loved by you. People are being drawn to that. And you get the added bonus of people being very loyal to you and loyal to that cause. And without even asking, there are people that are going to be safeguarding you, safeguarding your energy. And some of these things you might not find out have occurred until after the fact. And you'll be so glad because you're like, oh yeah, if that person came in right at that time and said that thing to me, I don't think, the event would have gone off as well, or, it might have thrown me off. You find out after the fact that somebody, protected you. Somebody got in the way of you finding that information out because someone cares about you that much. And recognizing, hey, there's reciprocity going on here. There's a lot of good energy. There's a lot of good mojo here. I'm feeling good about it, and I want to support her to keep that up because it's helping all of us. So I definitely feel like you've got a lot of loyalty here and a lot of individuals who are going to be tried and true. Wow, that's a really nice message to get. I like that. I really like that for you guys. Hopes and fears. What are you dreaming? What are you dreaming of becoming? And what scares you about actually doing it? Wow, another 10. So here we got the 10 of Cups. And this is I call this the ideal outcome card. And what I'm loving here for you is I feel like there's a part of you, again, we're talking about the waiting for the other shoe to drop. You've had this, wonderful graduation or this, realization that you've accomplished something that you worked really hard to achieve. Sure, there's an aspect of you that is worried that it's going to be taken away or that you might not be able to enjoy it to its fullest. But what I'm really feeling here is that this card is coming up to remind you that it's here now. Fear takes us out of the now moment. So it's not about like it's here now and oh my God, what if it gets taken away? It's here now. And fear, I'm going to put some tape over your mouth because I don't need to hear you right now. I don't need to hear you because I'm here now and I want to be able to expand into this energy. I want to be able to take advantage of the feelings that are being generated through this accomplishment, through this wonderful outcome. This is also holiday season, and there's a lot of expectation around family dynamics, and travel, and going hither and thither, and all the things and the stuff. Because this is a transformational reading, how you are transforming as a human being, I feel like this is the invitation from spirit, from source energy, to say you can walk in this liquid luck energy all the time. This can be your everyday. It's giving yourself permission to choose it every day. And you need to immerse yourself in the feeling in order to be able to reproduce the feeling, to say, oh yeah, this is what I want more of. And so universe, keep bringing this, thanks universe, bring me more, keep bringing me more champagne. I want experiences that, cause me to celebrate, cause me to drink the champagne, right? And not that sparkling water stuff. I want the good stuff. I want the champagne from Champagne in France, right? So I feel like this is really who you want to be. This is the taste that you're getting. But there's also that little part of you, again, ego voice, that steps up and tries to pee on your parade. Don't let it. Put tape over ego's mouth. I always like to say, give ego a lollipop and a coloring book, tell it to sit in the corner and shut the hell up and occupy itself for a while, because you got bigger fish to fry. And they're going to learn something in the process of it, right? They're learning something. They're learning that the fear is not necessary in this instance, that growth can be joyful, growth can be positive, growth can be very successful. It doesn't always have to be a fearful experience. And I feel like that's kind of what you're working through. And this is, if you stay on course, who will you be on the other side of this journey in December? What is the result of embracing the full death and rebirth cycle? I love this, the High Priestess. So this also, it's more of an air sign, but sometimes it's read as a water sign as well. So, being really connected to yourself and source, being really connected to your intuition, understanding that yes, there's a lot of noise in the world, but the only noise you need to listen to is the inner voice, the inner guidance. That's the only noise that's of importance. Everything else is distraction. And this is ultimately where you want to be. And I feel like this is ultimately what got you here. So I feel like it's feeding into itself. You're coming full circle. And the High Priestess is coming through to remind you just of who you are, to remind you that wherever you go, there you are. And that means that it requires the silence, the tuning in, the connection that allows you to stay in that sort of liquid luck energy, that nothing's going to take me down, right? And here, it's really interesting. We don't often see the High Priestess with such a prominent stare, looking right at you. But that's what's happening here. She's looking right at you. And I feel like this is you facing life. I would say taking life by the balls, but doing it with confidence, doing it with charm and with ease, doing it with greatness, because that is really what has come as a result of that. And what a great way to wrap up a hellacious year and set yourself up for success as you're moving forward into January. Wow. So Cancer, that is your transformational tarot for December. It's going to be an incredible month for you guys. I just loved these cards for you. It is year in preview season. If you want a sneak peek into what is coming up for you personally in 2026, click on the link below and book your session today. Your year in preview sessions, they're limited time from December 1st to January 31st. I've been doing them. I think this is year 10. They go so fast. They go so quickly. People are bugging me in September. Are you going to do year in preview again? You get to record your session. It's an hour-long reading. I pull a card for every month of the year of 2026 and let you know what's coming up and coming through. You can take notes. You can record it for yourself. A lot of people, use it throughout the year. They're looking at the previous month, they're looking at the month ahead, and they're looking at, what's coming up. And it really just gives you kind of that overview of what to, sort of what to expect. And then I also have the year in transformation, which is a deeper dive into your soul purpose for this year and how you're transforming to really be able to live your soul's purpose. So it's a lot of fun. Feel free to book that. It books up really quickly. So get your spot there. And otherwise, as always, sending you guys so much love and support. Happy holidays. I can't wait to ring in this new year. New year, new life, right? I can't wait to ring it in with you guys. Take care and transform well.